Topps Chrome UFC coming in whenever it gets here.
Yeah, it's towards the end of the month. They're doing a buyback as well, I've heard.
They are?
Yeah, for the main event of 300.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
What is going on, UFC card lovers? Welcome back here to another episode of UFC Card Talk. My name is Damien, and if you are new to this UFC card channel, here at UFC Card Talk, I like to talk about everything to do with UFC cards, from both collecting to trying to my hand at investing, and also recent UFC card hobby news. This week's episode, super excited to be bringing it to you because I am going to be sharing with you my recent card shop experience. I did just get back from a recent trip over to the United States. For those of you who do not know, I do live here in Europe, but I was in the United States in Miami in order to watch the UFC 299 event. After that, I did head out to the Big Apple, New York, and then up to Boston. So I did try my luck at checking out some card shops as I went through. Obviously, it was a super fun experience for me, not having access to card shops or anything of that nature here in Europe or anywhere near where I live. It was just really, really cool to get out there and experience what a card shop is like. But I was also super interested to see, as a UFC collector, as a lover of UFC cards, what was the scene like for UFC cards in these different card shops. So I was able to thankfully grab a little bit of footage. I tried to make it as casual as possible. I didn't know what to really expect heading into these card shops about what I was going to see. What sort of UFC cards was I going to find? What sort of UFC product were they going to have on their shelves? We are going to be seeing all that. I did plan to check out about 6 or 7 shops throughout my trip. I made 6 of them, I believe. One of the shops I went to, actually, it said it was open. I got there and it was actually closed. So I was a little bit disappointed I'd made the drive out to that specific shop only for it to be closed. But that is what it is. The other 6 shops I did make it to. 2 of the shops, they were in New York. I did not film anything in those first 2 shops that I went to. The other 4 shops were on the East Coast also, heading up from Providence, from Rhode Island, all the way up through to Boston. As I said, I did try and keep my recording in a definitely much more amateur, much more casual way to give it a more sort of just a more casually authentic experience of what someone could have heading into a card shop. Without further ado, let's get into the footage I got, and then we'll come back to wrap it up.
How you doing?
Hello there. How are you?
Good.
Don't suppose you have much or any UFC stuff, like singles or...
UFC?
Yeah.
All I have right now, I think, is blasters.
So just sealed stuff, no
Yeah.
real singles or anything?
No singles really.
Okay.
There might be some singles down in the box down there, but no big stars.
Okay.
I got the new UFC coming out when it comes out, Topps Chrome.
The Chrome, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm if you can't tell, I'm actually traveling here from Australia.
I can tell by the voice you're not from Rhode Island.
I'm trying to make as many card shops as I can because there's no card shops where I'm from at all. So
Oh, really?
I'm pretty excited just to be able to walk around and check stuff out. But yeah, unfortunately, not many shops have UFC stuff
Nah,
here. And,
I don't get much of a call for it.
yeah.
I did the Topps Chrome because it was Topps' first venture back in it, so I decided to do it. And I guess they're running a program.
Yeah, they're doing the
on it.
buyback as well.
Yeah, so I decided to do it.
You don't get many people coming in asking about it.
No. During the pandemic, it was hot.
Yeah, I suppose everything was hot in the pandemic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got the 21 Chronicles and 22 Prison Blasters. Do you mind if I have a look through some your singles? And then
For UFC, you mean?
Yeah.
It
And
should be down there.
yeah.
In them boxes, the white boxes down the end there.
Yep.
There should be a spot for UFC.
Okay. It will be labeled UFC?
Should be, yeah.
Okay. surprised to see you got some Topps 2009 stuff here.
Yeah.
A few moments later.
Right, so big thanks to Sports Heroes in Rhode Island. This is what they had. They had some UFC singles. So I had to get the Yoshiro Akiyama. It's just the base from 2010 main event, but had to get it. I think it was like 10 cents. Then we got the Grey Maynard. Round 2 gold. I think that was another 10-cent card. Then I got this old school Hogan from WCW. I think that's 1995. Not a bad looking card. And we got the Mateusz Gamrot. Obviously had a big win, UFC 299. That's his rookie bronze from Select, numbered to 175. Got that one. You can see the sticker price there, $3. That one looked in pretty good condition, so may get that one graded. Then we got another Hogan here. This one is from 1991. Topps. Maybe it's not Topps. Either way, cool looking retro card. Got that one as well. Then we got the Ric Flair in the WCW from 1995. That one was $1. And finish it off with the Triple H from Raw 2013 Topps. And we just got a one touch as well. 180 point for my Sugar Show card. That's going to be it for the first stop. Let's see what we got in the next one. Hey.
What are you doing today?
I'm actually traveling from Australia, so we don't have any card shops where I'm from, so I'm just excited to be in the area and just.
What brings you to the States?
I was at the UFC event, so I'm a UFC collector majorly, but I was at the UFC event in Miami.
That's exciting.
Then travelled back to New York,
And
and then now making the trip up to watch the Celtics play tomorrow night.
that is exciting. Well,
So-
welcome.
Thank you.
Appreciate you making the stop in.
No, man, as I said, I'm excited to be able to check out some card shops for the
Yeah,
first time.
For sure. That is fun. So, what do you like to collect?
Mostly UFC,
Yeah.
a little bit of wrestling as well, and then I do like Jaylen Brown's my favourite player, so
Nice.
trying to get some green prisms of him throughout the years. But have you got much? I don't open really anything with UFC, but have you got much in singles? Or is it just what you've got there?
So I actually don't carry a lot of anything that's not baseball, basketball, football, or Pokemon.
Okay.
I do have a box full of dollar cards that has a row of UFC cards.
Do you mind if I have a flick through?
Of course. course. I got UFC blasters that have an auto in every box, or should have an auto in every
Is that
box.
Chronicles 23?
That's Optic 23.
Okay.
Oh, so here, this is all UFC right here. All that's wrestling, some soccer. I think there's hockey in there as well.
Sweet.
I had Topps Chrome UFC coming in whenever it gets here.
Yeah, it's towards the end of the month. They're doing a buyback as well, I've heard.
They are?
Yeah, for the main event of 300.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Master boxes of the Chrome, the Optic behind me, just because, it was on Christmas, and I was like, yeah, why not? And that's how I found out about the autos. I got 2 autos in the box, and I was very confused. I guess it was a thing now.
Was that a hobby box though? Was that a
it was
blast?
just 2 of those. And I
2
got
blasters.
2 autos out of it. So I don't know if that's like the norm or...
No, obviously Panini are losing the license, will have lost the license now, as you know.
Yeah.
So I think they were doing a bit of a sticker auto dump.
They better do it for like the other products too, football, basketball, because they suck.
But they haven't. Topps haven't officially announced anything for the other sports though yet.
No, they just they're doing their own thing right now with their own stuff. But nothing as of yet, just because there's really not much to do, or not much that they can do.
Yeah.
At least for the time being. I mean, I'm looking forward to when Fanatics and Topps takes over. The licensure for like football, basketball stuff.
When that was like, that's still technically it's a couple of years away though, isn't it?
January 1st, 2026.
Yeah. Obviously Panini will be kicking and screaming until that date for sure.
It's weird around here. Football, or I should say American football, is very popular in terms of sports cards and such. And anything else really is like secondary.
Oh really?
It's that bizarre. You go like anywhere else in the country, it might be a little bit different, just depending on where you are. But for the most part, it is very football dominated around here. It's just.
I mean, I could only imagine. Obviously, I don't know anything much about football, American football cards at all. But I could only imagine it's maybe like driven by the hype of rookie quarterbacks and stuff like that,
That's exactly what it
and
is.
kids. I wonder as well how much kids sort of like drive the market, because there's no kids in UFC.
Yeah.
So it's everyone who collects UFC is like sort of my age and older, really. So I feel like that makes a big difference for obviously popularity and then obviously pricing as well.
It's challenging just because, again, it's so football heavy, but the Celtics, best team in the NBA, not a lot of people care. Baseball, spring training, a lot of good prospects, nobody cares. The World Cup was just a couple years ago. People did care until USA got eliminated. And then with it coming back, and it's going to be here in the North America, I'm curious to see what it's able to do then, which I'm going to be a little skeptical about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be an initial pump for sure, and then as you said, like as soon as it's over, people will bail out of it again.
They are still cool regardless. However, you want to chalk it up. And cool cards are just cool cards.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter the value. Like my PC probably doesn't have a single card over $100. Maybe the most is $100.
Yeah. Who's your favorite player that you PC?
So I'm a big fan of Alabama football, like the college team.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of cards of them in my collection. Again, a lot cheaper stuff. So let's see, football, Tom Brady, obviously, just because the local guy. Basketball, Paul George, Rondo, big one of mine. I like
Rondo, yeah. Yeah.
Hockey, I don't even think I have any cards of hockey in my collection, to be honest. Again, just hockey just doesn't really kind of move the needle around here.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't really hone in on one specific player. I just hone in on the teams I like, and if I can find cards of players on those teams I like. Because, having all 4 sports teams in the area, you like a lot of players. So I try to keep my options as open as I can
Yeah.
with it. But going back to like hockey, the Bruins were breaking all these records last year, and nobody wanted hockey cards around here. Which we got the Providence Bruins, which is a minor league team here. We got a couple of the minor league teams here in New England, and again with the success of the Bruins last year in the regular season at least, still nobody wanted hockey cards. All they wanted was football cards. I'm like, come on, this best regular season team in NHL history. Nobody wanted them. It's crazy how it works like that.
Yeah. All right, so I was just in at Murph's Cards, Sports Cards, here in Rhode Island. Super nice guy. I was chatting to him for probably 30 minutes, 45 minutes. There was no one else in the store, so yeah, I would have a good chat. I couldn't leave empty-handed. I had to get something. I couldn't find any singles that I wanted in either UFC or basketball. I was trying to look for some Jaylen Brown stuff, but I did pick up 3 one-touches for the PC cards, and then I had to do it. I had to help support him just because he was such a nice guy, so I did it. A part of me didn't want to do it, but I still did it anyway. Picked up the 2023 UFC Optic Blaster. Goes against all my rules, but as I said, when in Rome, you do what you can. Let's see if we can find another shop before the day ends.
What I can help you with, bud?
You don't have any UFC stuff, do you? Like singles in particular, or
UFC? No.
not at all?
No, I just have retail blaster boxes of UFC stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I don't open too much product myself. I'm more into the singles, but
Unfortunately, there's just not much clientele looking for
Yeah.
things for me to
yeah, it's
justify cracking anything open.
yeah, no, I get it. It's a pretty similar story of what I've heard from a couple other places. So, unfortunately, I'm just in the minority who mostly collect UFC. So.
Yeah. So everything was flying off the shelf, 3 years ago, 2020. All through when I reopened in 2020 after the month and a half shutdown that we had, then all through 2020, 2021, and then halfway through 2022, that's when business was tremendous. And then since like the mid to late point of 2022, it's been like down. And then this past year, 2023, like from the end of summer all the way to the end of the year, the holiday season was so-so. Like I said, I've been doing it for a while now too, and it's like, I was like really, I knew it was never going to stay like it was those last couple of years. I mean, but it was just like, it was like an ultimate high, and then I was like, okay, well, if it levels off to here, that'll be fine.
Yeah.
But it's leveled off. Instead of being here, it's down here. And
So what do you got for the UFC? You got Select 2022 Blaster, Optic 2022.
yeah, right
Dominance.
here. I've got just these 4. I've got 22 Select.
And they just don't,
22
and they
Optic.
don't move.
Yeah, 22 Optic, 23 Donruss,
And 23 Prism.
23 Prism. Those are the only ones, and the rest of these ones are wrestling.
Yeah.
Got like 4 different wrestling and then soccer stuff.
Oh, and you just don't have people come through at all for UFC.
Nah, very little. I had back in 2020. I had a
of course.
smattering of it.
Yeah.
People, because it was relatively, new,
Yeah.
so to speak, as far as card collecting went. So like
Yeah.
I had some people. So that's when I started to venture into some of that. But now it just sits around.
2021 obviously was a debut year of Prism for UFC. Like UFC been around as well, but obviously 2021 was also the big spike. So everyone was trying to look into niche sports and things like that as well. So that
Yep.
helped pump UFC up as well. But
Yep, yeah, because
Yeah.
during the pandemic, UFC stuff got boosted. Wrestling stuff had a boost. WNBA, women's basketball stuff. I mean, soccer stuff had a boost. Formula One racing, all that like somewhat more of niche sports for card collecting, all like
yeah, got boosted.
perked up and like really was like selling for a while.
Tomorrow for sure.
Good. How are you?
So far, so good, yeah.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
You don't happen to carry much UFC or MMA stuff?
UFC,
Like as for singles?
single cards I don't have, no. Packs. Oh, I do have a couple of these. Single cards.
Okay. Mind if I take a
Yeah,
look?
yeah, I don't know.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what do you got for packs? You got some Chronicles,
These
Optic,
here,
yeah,
Optic,
2022.
Chronicles, more Optic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got the hanger packs for Optic, yep. And then are the Chronicles packs there? Are they hobby packs or 7 cards per pack?
7 cards.
Yeah, I
per
think they
pack,
are
yeah.
because I think the
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Yeah.
boxes have 4 cards or 5 per
Yeah.
pack, if I remember right. And were they 2022 as well? What year are they?
2022
Yeah.
and 2022.
How much are on the Chronicles packs?
The Chronicles?
Yeah.
5.
5?
Yep.
Would you do 5 for 20 on the Chronicles?
Sure.
No! God, please, no! No!
Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You serious?
Thank you, sir. You want a bag?
No, it's alright. Do you mind if I just
I don't
look
mind at
around,
all.
look around a little bit as well?
Absolutely. Maybe you'll see something you can't live without.
Yeah, that's right. I like the colour matches of the green prisms mostly. You don't get many people asking about UFC in the store?
Not a lot, no. A little here, a little there, you know. But
Yeah.
a while ago, it was, you want a bag?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
A while ago, it was, when it first came out, was,
Yeah, the first year of Prism and things.
yeah.
Yeah.
They were pretty good, but they're not. Doubled up a little.
Yeah. You gonna get into the Topps Chrome when they have the Topps Chrome for UFC this year?
If they offer it to me, yeah. A lot of times they allocate that stuff, and I don't always get it, but
Oh, okay. What do you have mostly sell out of the shop? Is it basketball?
baseball, basketball, football, hockey,
Yeah.
It's all that stuff is prevalent. You know, I mean, the season now is hockey and basketball, because football is over. But football will be starting soon when the draft hits. You know, so
Yeah.
once that hits, they release some of the new product. You know,
Yeah. How long you had the shop for?
I've been here 26 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this is my first time in Boston.
Oh yeah, where you from?
Australia.
Australia.
Yeah.
Nice little trip.
Yeah, it is. I actually came for the UFC event in Miami
Oh yeah.
on the weekend, and then wanted to catch a Celtics game as well. So,
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah. So I'm here for tonight for the Phoenix game. So
should be fun.
yeah, it should be
Yeah.
good.
They've been playing really well, so.
Yeah, they have it at home at least as well.
Yeah.
So all right. So after seeing all that, we can, as you guys saw, it was really just the same story with every card shop that I went to. Even the 2 card shops I made it to in New York, it was just the same story with UFC and UFC card products. It just does not seem to be, at least in those stores I visited, it's just not a big seller for the card shop owners. So therefore, the only real product they had, no one actually had any hobby boxes, I don't think. I think that maybe one shop had a couple of hobbies, but everyone else only really carrying blaster boxes. And therefore, they also mentioned that because they only are carrying blasters, it wasn't really worth it for them to rip open the products and have more singles, which was, as I mentioned, it's just something that I've always kept in my lane, is buying individual singles of the fighters who I want rather than opening product. So that was a little bit disappointing, but I was surprised to see that one shop did have not a bad selection of UFC cards. One of the shops had just literally all base Prism from 2021, 2022, all bases. I think there might have been even 2 silvers out of about 100 cards I flicked through. So nothing really much there for me to pick up. They were all in $1 or 10 cent, like 10 cent to $1 boxes for the most part. Only a couple of sort of graded singles that were more autographs of just random fighters. So nothing really there for people to get excited about in the singles market. Then once again, the blasters, as I said, the blasters not really worth for them to crack open in order to have more singles in the shop. And a few of the owners did mention they will be carrying the new Topps Chrome product moving forward. It has released now as this video has coming out, and UFC will be participating. Topps through Fanatics are having a buyback for UFC 300. For those of you who do not know, a buyback is something that Fanatics brought out only recently over the past year, 18 months, where they have a determined athlete, whether it be the MVP of the year, whatever. If you have any of their base cards for that buyback winner for that year, you can go back, take it to your local LCS who are participating in the buyback, and they will give you a $20 voucher or whatever to spend more on your cards. So it's a little bit of a fun way to make base cards fun again. So my question for you guys now, through Topps Chrome, through Fanatics putting out all these types of different buybacks, all these different promotional things that Fanatics are going to be bringing moving forward, is this the thing that is really going to push UFC as a card hobby forward into more the mainstream? I would love to hear what you guys have to say on that in the comments down below. So please let me know all your thoughts. It'd be fun for other people to read through as well about how you think Topps Chrome and the promotional stuff that Fanatics and Topps are going to be doing, is that going to be the push that UFC card hobby needs at the moment? Because just now it's just not really there at all. So my opinion is I think it can. I really think that through Fanatics, I think if they try and hone in on the targeted audience for UFC cards in particular, just put them out there, make them well known. I'm not sure if we're going to really bring more people in from outside other sports, so I don't really think there's that many more collectors we could poach to the UFC card community. I don't think, because I feel like MMA cards, UFC cards, they are known enough now to people who are going around shows, people who are going to shops. It's not like they don't see UFC cards, even if it is just a blaster sitting on the shelf. They have seen it, but at the moment it just doesn't have the reputation of something that makes people want to buy it for whatever reason, unless you're just a die-hard UFC fan like most of us are who are involved in the community for UFC cards. We are typically die-hard UFC fans and have very passionate followings for the fighters. At least that's, I can speak of my own experience. That's what's brought me in, being a massive fan of Sean O'Malley, being very passionate about my fandom for him, obviously led me to collecting his cards and then getting involved with other fighters' cards as well. But I don't think, what I'm getting at is, I don't think that we are going to be getting guys and girls who collect basketball, guys and girls who collect football, hockey, soccer. I feel like that side of the targeted potential new members for collecting UFC, I feel like that potential has passed. I think the way that UFC community will grow moving forward will be from getting fans who are already diehard UFC fans, already have a favorite fighter, already who are interested in collectibles and memorabilia. It will be getting those people who do not know about the cards at the moment. It will be getting them to find out about the cards through these promotional advertising, through more mainstream marketing. It will be those people who will be coming into the community who will help it grow moving forward. At least that's just my opinion. As I said, super interested to hear what you guys and girls think. As for upcoming videos, I will be having a mail day, I think next week. Next week will either be a mail day or it will be my part 2 for my Road to a Glory card. Shout out to Matt from the Golden Octagon. I was recently on his channel. Super cool conversation we had. We were chatting it up, chatting about my little bit of my backstory, how I got into cards. We did that for about an hour or so. So check out that video if you haven't already. It's over on his channel, Golden Octagon. Thank you again to Matt. I'm sure there will be a collab coming up with Zach from Box Alarm Trading heading into the massive UFC 300 event. So there is, as always, upcoming videos every single week here at this channel. So if you haven't already, you got to hit that subscribe button because you're going to be missing out otherwise. And also, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoy my content, please hit the like button, and then you may as well just hit the notification bell because you've hit 2 out of 3 buttons. You may as well hit that third one, and then you'll be notified every single week when my video comes out. I appreciate every single one of you guys for watching, and I will see you in here next week at UFC Card Talk.
Bye, have a great time.